I want to talk about a fight that goes under the radar, and I think it never got the credit that it deserved to get. And before I do that, make sure you guys hit the thumbs up, make sure you comment, share, subscribe. If you wish to donate to the platform, the Cash App is $JRuiz33. Since YouTube wants to play with our money, make sure you hit up the Cash App. but I want to talk about the Anthony Joshua Andy Ruiz rematch, part two. I've done videos on it way back, so I know a lot of my new subscribers never got to see it, but AJ never got the credit that he deserved for that rematch. People don't understand, first of all, how tough it is to even enter the ring, especially on a pro level, at a championship level. People don't understand how tough it is, but to come back and beat a guy that knocked you down several times in front of an American crowd for your debut that no one expected. I don't even think AJ knew what was going on in that first fight. He was so out of it after that first knockdown. It's like he never recovered. It's like his legs stayed noodles for that after that knockdown from Andy Ruiz. So people don't understand the mental strength, first of all, it takes to even step in the ropes, even to spar. But the fact that AJ rematched this guy without a tune-up, keep that in mind, without a tune-up. That's what Lennox Lewis did to Hasim Rockman. No tune-up. Went back in there, but Lewis knocked him out. But still, AJ goes in there with the rematch against Andy Ruiz without a tune-up and puts on a performance that I don't know how any pure boxing fan out there could not appreciate the clinic that Anthony Joshua put on Andy Ruiz in that rematch. He barely got touched. And of course, those that, are overly critical of AJ will say, well, Andy Ruiz was way out of shape for that fight. Wasn't he like 280 or something? Whatever the case, AJ had to fight all the memories of that first fight, knowing he got stopped for the first time in front of an American audience. He had to go in there in this second fight, throw that all out of his mind, and beat this guy. And that's what he did. He beat him. And he shut him out. He shut him out. It was a one-sided fight. Didn't he hurt and cut Andy Ruiz in the first or second round? AJ came in lighter, and Ruiz came in heavier. It's not AJ's fault that Andy Ruiz came in at 280 or whatever he weighed for that fight, 270-ish. It's not AJ's fault. But AJ did what he had to do, and he doesn't get enough credit for that. I hear people saying, that fight was boring, it was dull, AJ ran. He didn't run, he boxed. That's called boxing. When AJ just went in there and slugged it out, people said, oh, he doesn't know how to box. Then when he boxes, oh, well, why didn't he finish him? You can't win. They used to do that with Lennox Lewis. And, I know that Lennox Lewis and Anthony Joshua aren't the best of friends, but they seem to have a lot in common. The way people talked about Lewis at the time is not the way they talk about him now, especially in America. People didn't give Lennox Lewis any credit. And I used to listen to these people like, what are they talking about? I knew he was great first time I saw him on Tuesday Night Fights against Mike Dixon. So I knew Lewis was great. I could just tell. And, AJ goes in there and he's pretty much doing the same thing that Lennox Lewis does. So they have a lot in common. I wish they'd squash their beef. But y'all got to give AJ his credit. Go back and watch that fight with Andy Ruiz, part two. Go back and even watch the first one to see what he had to overcome to get that victory in part two. And at the end of the fight with Ruiz, I liked the way Joshua walked around the ring like I told you so. And he deserved to do that because how many people thought he would win that rematch? They were even putting out documentaries, Sylvester Stallone, Mike Tyson, everybody talking about, what a shock that was. And yes, it was a shock. It was a shock to AJ too. And that means he should get all the more credit for what he did to Andy Ruiz in that rematch. The jab was nice. The way he controlled the distance. Andy Ruiz couldn't even get in. He didn't even know what to do. At the end of the round 12, you see Andrew Ruiz like waving like, come here, basically stand right here in front of me so I can hit you. No, it's not how boxing works, Andy. If you're the taller guy with the longer reach, use it. If you don't use your advantages, then they're no longer advantages. Like if you have a weight advantage, you have to know how to use your weight. If you have a reach advantage, you have to know how to use your reach. Whatever your strong suits are. And that's what makes Ben Davison and AJ such a great combination, because Ben Davison is now showing AJ what punches to throw and when to throw them. Don't just waste punches. You're wasting energy, and there's no point in doing it. It might look good, on a highlight reel, but there's no point in wasting punches, especially at heavyweight. You can tire yourself out real fast. And I think that's how Usyk wins a lot of his fights. He makes people waste a lot of their punches. But anyway, go check that fight out between AJ and Ruiz. Part 2, go back and watch the first one. I want to do a video too on a fight or fights that Daniel Dubois doesn't get enough credit for. So be looking out for that. Anyway, it's the J. Roos Theory. Make sure to comment, share, subscribe. Hit up that Cash App at $JRoos33. LSR forever. And be fearless. Yay.